Assalamu alaikum, everybody. How are you all doing? Assalamu alaikum. Say hi. Tell me where you're from in the comments below, inshallah. Today we are going to do our positive news stories of the week. Mondays is all about positiveness too, you know. So we like to bring you the good stories that make us feel good. So join us today. I'm doing the stories today. I'm Sister Nicola, and Sister Tammy is moderating. So she's going to put all the links up for you in the comments so that you can click on the stories and have a better read. Because obviously I'm just going to summarize. But first, I want to see all of you say Salamu Alaikum and tell me where you are all watching from. And we are going to have 15 minutes of positiveness to your week, inshallah. It's a good thing, right? I mean, we get all these terrible stories over and over again. And, you know, we want to change that a little bit. We want to bring you something great because there are so many stories out there, so many good things Muslims are doing in their communities and all over the world that maybe we don't get to hear about in the mainstream media. But if you also tell me where you're from and say salam, I'm going to give you shout outs as I go along, inshallah. So the first one to do it is Akbar Hussain Sumra. Hi Akbar, Assalamu alaikum. You're from Gujarat in India. Assalamu alaikum, Akbar. I have a friend from Gujarat, or her family is actually from Gujarat in India. She speaks Gujarati to her grandpa. I remember this from university days, so mashallah. The world is very small. I hope you're all doing well. Say salam to me, inshallah. And I will give you shout outs as we go along. Okay, so just I'm going to start. And the first story this week that really warmed my heart was about a little boy in Bangladesh camps. He's actually a Rohingya. And he's helping his fellow kids have some fun. Now, we all hear the atrocities that have gone on in Burma regarding the Rohingya Muslims. And may Allah protect them all, I mean. And may Allah make their plight easy, especially those who are stuck there, but also those who are now in the camps in Bangladesh, because it's still not easy for them. They risk so many things over there right now, diseases, violence, and such on. So this little boy really made my week because he's making kites for all the other kids. Now, you bear in mind just how much these kids have seen, have witnessed, have gone through. SubhanAllah, it's more than any of us could even imagine, you know. And it just shows you, this story is full of hope, and it just shows you just how resilient kids are these days, or any day, you know. So this little boy, he doesn't want to sit around doing nothing. He's making kites for the kids, and these kites bring kids so much happiness and so much fun. So, you know, one little kid said if he didn't fly his kite, he was so sad because he didn't get to fly his kite. And the little boy, who's just 10 years old, is called Fayez Kemal. And he said it's easy to make them, but it's more difficult to, find the materials. So how good a heart has this little boy got that he's bringing this much joy to these kids, and the resilience of these kids, and they're finding something so simple to play with and to have fun. It just makes you wonder when we're spoiling our kids where we are in the West with games and PlayStation and phones, what they don't need, and all of this, and these little kids are having so much fun with kites. So subhanallah, may Allah bless this little boy, and may Allah bless all the children in these camps and in Rohingya and all the oppressed all over the world, inshallah. And this story actually reminded me of a brilliant book called Kite Runner. Have you ever read this book, Kite Runner? It's about two little boys who grow up just before the Taliban took over in Afghanistan. If you haven't read it, read it. It's brilliant. It will move you. And this little boy reminded me of that story very much. So inshallah, that's a good read to put on your reading list if you are all reading. Hi Nadia, Assalamu alaikum, where are you from? So that's a really nice way to start the episode, I suppose we can say. So it's just really lovely, and again, may Allah protect all those oppressed and are feeling these kind of pressures, and may He protect all those kids. But subhanallah, just how something so simple can really bring hope to your life. The next one is actually a revert story, and it's a very beautiful revert story. And it's, if you go onto our section on our website, www.aboutislam.net, we have several sections. If you want to read about the revert stories, because I know so many of you love them so much, you can go to the section Reading Islam, and if you click on that, there will come down a menu with subsections. And you will find My Journey to Islam or Journey to Islam, and you can click on there and you can read all the revert stories. And sometimes if you go to multimedia section or video section, we also put videos up of people who have reverted, and they tell you why. So, of course, being a revert, these stories often, I'm always surprised at how people find Islam. And it's really amazing. Some have a really difficult journey, while some others just have a simple one of finding the truth. But this one is about a sister. Her name is Anna Bitsmaterina, and she is from Russia. And she converted to Islam in March 2014. She grew up in a society that was atheist, because it was the former Soviet Union. And they stopped all kind of religion. You weren't allowed to practice any religion in those days. So her family, though, they were Christians, they believed, and so from that she had a love for Allah, and she felt this love from a very young age, and she just didn't know how to connect with Him on a level, but she always hoped that no matter what no matter what challenges she was going through, she would have Allah always by her side. And sometimes she really felt like she was going through hell with some of the challenges that she faced in life, but she always felt there was, Allah is there. So she really loved Allah even before she accepted Islam. And then she one day moved to Egypt. Now, Egypt has a very special place in my heart, as it does to many of us actually who are reverts. And so if there is any Egyptians out there watching, give us a shout. Assalamu alaikum. And she found so many people talking about religion and Allah, and she was so happy to hear this, because they had such a deep love for Allah. She was in Sharm el-Sheikh, and the Egyptians she met there, they had this deep love for Allah. So, she met her then future husband and some other friends, and they actually helped her accept Islam. So it's amazing, really. These people, you don't know. I have to say, you don't know what you can do to someone who is not a Muslim. If you just speak to them in the right way, if you just show them from your actions just how much you love Islam, how gentle you are, how polite you are, how you are looking after your parents, your family, your loved ones, all these things. Just something so small like this can make somebody who isn't aware just suddenly turn around and think, oh, this is a really beautiful religion. It did to me. I'm sure it did to my sister Tammy, who sometimes every other week she's doing these with us. There is always something in a Muslim that makes us look into Islam. So never underestimate what you are doing as a Muslim in the good way, okay? Because it's these good actions that actually is the bigger dawah than somebody talking about it and somebody trying to argue with it. Of course, all this is part of it, but it's how you behave that actually makes somebody think, oh, this is something that I didn't know about, or I didn't even read about, because the media likes to corrupt stuff, as you all know by now. So the best way to know a Muslim is through their actions. The best dawah you can give is through your actions, and subhanallah, this can help and bring wonderful things to a non-Muslim who then wishes to accept Islam and become a Muslim. Yes, Akbar, it was very mashallah. I love these stories, and may Allah bless you very much as well, Akbar. Ameen, Ya Rab. So the next story, we're going back to now my homeland, which is the UK, and we have a very beautiful story. Last week, have we got anybody in the UK on watching us? If you have, give us a shout out where you're from, and tell us, did you help the homeless, or if your mosque took part in anything to shelter people from this winter? Let us know, because this story is about Oldham Mosque in Manchester, in Greater Manchester in the UK. Now, last week, if you are in Europe or if you were in the UK, you would have experienced the beast from the east, which came all the way from Russia, Siberia, all this. So it was the coldest February on record, I think, in the UK, subhanallah. So there was a lot of snowfall. There were plummeting temperatures in the day and even more so at night. And of course, on Thursday, there was a storm called Storm Emma, which brought a lot of devastation. This is from the beast, and the storm, I think, killed around 149 people. That figure may have been higher. And I'm sure a lot of those were homeless people, because, they're living on the streets, they have no shelter, they have no food or warmth. Well, Oldham Mosque, or a mosque in Oldham, should I say, the actual name is the European Islamic Centre, and it is one of the largest Muslim facilities in the northwest of the UK. It can actually accommodate 5,000 workers, mashallah. Mashallah, if you're in that area, go and have a look at this mosque, because I bet it's beautiful. And as the beast from the east hit the UK, they decided, it's not enough just to give them blankets or coats. They need to do more. So what did they do? They opened their doors up. They allowed homeless people to stay and sleep over, and they provided shelter and food. Many of the homeless people coming were young, brothers and sisters. They were youth, like a lot of you watching right now. So a lot of the volunteers who helped them were young Muslims. So mashallah to all of you, and anyone else who has donated in helping Muslims, helping the homeless in your communities, because obviously in these kind of conditions, it can kill them. And I know there's lots of Islamic centers and mosques all around the world that have been helping homeless this winter. And we highlighted it in a fantastic video, which you can find on our YouTube channel, called Muslims Giving Rare Warmth to the homeless. And lots of mosques and Islamic centers in the UK, in the USA, and in Canada have all helped do this. So, mashallah to you, Rabbani Kremek, and inshallah you will be blessed, inshallah. The next one I want to talk about is Sadaqah. Now, charity is a huge, huge, huge part of our deen. And it's obviously, zakah is a pillar of Islam. But sadaqah is something a little bit less than, I don't like to say less, but it's less than zakah, but it's something that we can all do, and it doesn't have to be financial. So if any of you think, sadaqah has to be money, no, it doesn't. And we have a very fantastic video in our multimedia section called 17 Types of Sadaqah That Won't Cost a Penny. Now, I'm not going to go through all 17 because, it's too much, but I will go through around 12, and you can go and catch up the rest on this. I'm not going into detail either because I'm not a scholar, so I can't explain it in scholarly terms. But it's basic, it's simple. I'm sure you can all follow it, inshallah. I Hi, Essie Wilson. Hi. So the first one that you don't, I mean, this is handy for a lot of you because we know that you're quite young and you may not have a lot of money to give away. So the first one that you can do is dua. You can make dua. You can make dua for your family. You can make dua for your friends. You can make dua for all the oppressed Muslims out there. And I mean, you can make dua for anyone you like. This is sadaqah. So never underestimate it. And, do it as much as you like. There's no rules on when you should, or I mean, there are best times to make it, yes, but there's no rules when you should make it. So you can make dua all the time as much as you like. So go ahead and do it. It's one form of sadaqah. The next is pass on knowledge. So if you have some Islamic knowledge, or you've been to a course, an Islamic course, or you've been to a Quran course, and then you're able to teach someone else, this is fantastic, and you will be able to spread that knowledge in a very good way without misleading people. This is sadaqah, and it will also be deed to you after your death, because this education is being passed. So you're killing two birds in one stone, as we say. So it's a great way for you to give sadaqah, learn. It's a big motivation to learn about your deen, inshallah. Give good advice. If somebody comes to you for advice, make sure it's good advice. Make sure that you are talking to people about the right thing to do. Okay, don't mislead them. Don't give them wrong advice, and be kind to them whilst you're talking. Don't be harsh, because no one's going to accept advice if it's from somebody who's being a bit harsh. Smile. This is a charity in Islam, and we get rewarded simply for smiling. How easy is that? I bet every day you can smile at somebody. When I say this, I don't mean un-Islamically now, okay? I don't want you coming back saying, so. No. I mean properly. Smile at someone properly, please. Help others in need, okay? This is easy. You can just go to your neighbour if they're elderly, and you can help them. You can help your mom. Or you can go and volunteer for the charity and help the people most needing it most. We've just talked about all those great Muslims who have been helping homeless, or those people who are going out onto the ground helping the Rohingya in Bangladesh, in the refugee camps for the Syrians and so on. Go and join a charity. You'll be able to do that, inshallah. Remind people of Islam. Remind people. If you're reminding them of the behavior in a good way, not judgy, not preachy, because nobody wants to listen to somebody preaching. Just remind people of certain things that they may be forgetting to do. This is sadaqah. Talk softly to people. Don't be harsh. Don't use hard words. Don't be angry all the time. I've just said it, be gentle, be kind. Show them in your speech that you're genuine and that you have sincerity, and this will help, inshallah. Forgive people. This is huge, because it's so hard sometimes to forgive somebody who's done something wrong to you. But actually, it's a big part of our Islam. It's a big part of our religion. And you will find the Quran talking more times about forgiveness and mercy than anything that's harsh, right? So forgive. If you can forgive, and it will make you feel a whole lot better as well. As I said, it's a huge part of faith. So learn to forgive people. Respect people. Again, this is sadaqah. You don't talk to people in a terrible way. No, talk to people in a respectful way. Respect them. Respect their ideas. Respect their beliefs if they're not Muslim. You don't have to believe what they believe, but at least respect them and show respect. It's sadaqah. Be happy for others. So if your best friend is getting married and you're not, don't be jealous, don't be angry, don't be, don't be like this. Be happy for that person. Because if you're happy for them and you wish for them what you want for yourself, Allah will give it to you, and Allah will bring you more and more and more. So always be happy for other people's blessings and for other people's happiness. We should stay away from jealousy and all this bitterness. And this is a perfect way, inshallah. Visit the sick. There is hadith as well that we should be visiting the sick. You shouldn't stay a long time, but do visit the sick. where you can, because you are bringing to them happiness. When you're sick, you want people to visit you, don't you? But you don't want them to be overstay their welcome. So make sure you do it in a good way, inshallah. And the last one, we all know this, right? I don't know the correct wording, so do forgive me. But there was something in the way, in the road, and a man moved it. I don't know what it was at this time, maybe it was a rock, but he moved it out of the way so nobody can injure themselves. SubhanAllah, something like that, and I believe it sent him to Jannah. Can you imagine? So if you see something like something that's going to make somebody fall, please remove it, get it out of the way. And it can be anything, you know, you don't know who's walking by, somebody who's blind, an elderly person, a kid, anyone. Always remove stuff in the path out of the way, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, Deborah. Good morning. How are you? Essie, I'm glad. I think you were commenting on the Sadaqah points. They are very good points, and they're very simple, and they're very easy ways for you to get Sadaqah and to get good reward in the end. So let's practice them, and you will find that, inshallah, in the link soon. I think actually Sister Tammy posted it up, so I'm sorry about that. She's posted it up. It's because I see all the other comments as well. And the last story is a football story. Now, I do apologize if you're not following football, and I mean soccer if you're in the USA, not American football, which you must find weird because obviously it's not American football in the US. I'm talking now about football, soccer. This story is a fantastic story. So if you're a football fan and you are following the English Premier League, which I do because, you know, my husband is a big Manchester City fan, and I have a very small soft spot for Liverpool, not because of Mohamed Salah. I have followed them since I was a teenager, but he helps, right? So if you are a Premier League fan, an English Premier League, let's see who you're supporting. Write it in the comments and let's see, inshallah. So we had a fantastic story about the Muslim heroes of the English Premier League, and it talked about many, and I'm not going to talk about this many. You have to click on the link to see who's featured in there. But mashallah, there are a lot of Muslim footballers in the English Premier League. And what these players are doing is actually, they're having a profound effect on the misconceptions of Islam for the people who's following it. I mean, let's take, for example, all of you love him, or most of you, Mohamed Salah. He's now playing for Liverpool. He started in the English Prem at Chelsea, and then he moved to Italy, if I'm not wrong, and then he moved back to Liverpool. And, you know, how many stories do we feature on him? How many of you comment on him? How many of you really think he's amazing? SubhanAllah. He is really humble, right? He's humble. He shows real Islam. He's very kind. He gives away his shirt to kids who stood there for a full game asking for it. And then he gave as well a shirt to one who was in his countryside town in Egypt. And of course, he's also doing a lot of work for those people in his town. So he's a really good example, and he's practicing Muslim as well. So, and because of him, I mean, what was it that Liverpool fans are chanting? One more goal and they will convert to Islam. I know it's all a little bit tongue in cheek, but subhanallah, look at him. Look at the impression that he's giving to these people who have very big misconceptions on Islam, by the way. So these footballers bring a lot to the fans, and in turn bring a lot to people, because they are changing the idea of Islam. So not only Mohamed Salah is doing this, his Liverpool teammate, and I'm so sorry if I get his name wrong, his name is Sadio Manes. He's from Senegal, and he's a winger also at Liverpool. And before he transferred in 2016 for a fee of 34 million British sterling, which made him the most expensive African player of all time before Mohamed Salah. Recently, there was a picture of them both playing Jumma. Did you see this? It went viral on the internet. So, you know, he's another Muslim player who's bringing, who's changing slowly the the misconceptions of Islam. And what about, we're going now down south to Arsenal. Have we got any Arsenal fans watching right now? I'm sorry that you lost, by the way, the cup to Man City last Sunday, and of course a game as well. I'm too sorry about that. I'm not rubbing it in or anything, of course. Anyway, one of the best players in their team is Mesut Özil. He's a German-Turkish player, and he plays for Arsenal, and he also plays for the German side, of course, and he's actually the most expensive German footballer of all time. Anyway, he also is changing perceptions. And we have another Egyptian player in the Premier League, and his name is Mohamed El Neni, and he plays for Arsenal as well, so since 2016. And then we have one more I'm going to talk about, and I have to mention him because, you know, my husband is a supporter of Man City. So do you know which one I'm talking about? Of course, I'm talking about Yaya Toure, who's from the Ivory Coast. And he's played for Man City for a very long time. And actually, he's captained the Ivory Coast team as well. And mashallah, he was voted Footballer of the Year in 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014. So, mashallah. So these footballers, they are, I mean, you can, especially when it's Ramadan or, you know, in times like this, and you see them and they are fasting whilst playing football. And sometimes I remember a few years ago now, Sami Nasri, is that right? He used to play for Man City. He had a caption on his shirt when he lifted it up. I think it was about something that was going on at the time. And, you know, they bring to light the issues that are being faced. A few months back, can you remember Paul Pogba, I think it was, and another one maybe, they raised the issue on the football pitch about the slavery that's taking place in Libya and all these countries when people are trying to migrate over. So, you know, they're using their status for the good, and we should never dismiss that. We should never dismiss that, because while we have such powerful people, in these kind of people with such status, they can raise these kind of issues. It's always such a good thing. So, mashallah, they really have shined the light a little bit on Islam to their fans. So, inshallah, long may they continue, and long may they continue to raise awareness of really serious issues off the pitch, like Pogba did a few weeks ago, or months ago, sorry, about the slavery that's taking place in Libya, like many do when it comes to Syria, like many do when it comes to Palestine. And you will see this. So, you know, they raise fantastic awareness when it comes to Ramadan. What is Ramadan? And they're doing all this exercise whilst fasting as well. So it is hard. Some of you brothers should know, and I'm not being sexist here in any terms, but more brothers play football than women. So you will know, if you're playing football, how hard it is to fast and play at the same time. So mashallah. Great stories this week. So go ahead and click on them. We have a lot, so go to our website. Now, just before I go, did you know that we have a newsletter? Yes, we do. You can subscribe to it for free. And each Sunday, I believe, Sister Tammy, actually, she's editing this, you will find the top stories of the week. So not the ones that we talk about, but the ones that are the top ones that trending on our website for that week. She selects so many of them and she puts them all into one great newsletter. You have to subscribe to it. You can find the button to subscribe to it on our Facebook page. And I'm sure in a moment, Sister Tammy is going to put a link as well that you can subscribe to. It's completely free. And if you don't always have the time to follow us on our social media pages, then you can go ahead and follow us. You can go ahead and catch up with some of the stories through that. May God bless you, Essie, as well, inshallah. May Allah bless you always. And to all of you, brothers and sisters, may Allah bless you all. We really love your feedback. We really love your comments. and we really enjoy reading your comments on our posts. So please, please, please keep them coming, and please keep watching us every Monday for more stories, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, our newsletter and Telegram channel. And go ahead and have a look at our main website, which is www.aboutislam.net, which the link is already in the comments, because Sister Tammy is fantastic and she's already done it, mashallah. So see you next week. It will be Sister Tammy and I will be moderating, and we will bring you more stories, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.